Funny but foul.
Okay, shut
Yeah,
the
see
fuck
what I mean?
up,
It's
man.
it's fucking weird.
You know what, Hector? I honestly thought that you were gonna close those fucking curtains.
Oh.
Hey, take that hat off, eh? I didn't fucking give you a cut just for you to hide it, you know?
This is the first. I haven't done a pod in a while without a hat on.
Buddy, looking fucking fresh.
I can't see it, but yeah.
Here, I'll give you
I believe you.
duplicate to here, bud.
I believe you.
Little doopy dupes. Doopy dupes.
Definitely duped me today.
Hey, what are your thoughts on control? And parenting control and relationship control kind of goes hand in hand, and this is why. I found that the more I try to control, the less I actually control, and the less I actually control, the more I actually control.
Oh, okay, Socrates.
Fuck with me, son.
There was a good.
I got some good quotes.
There was a control quote that I had. It's fun. There's a funny thing about control is we think we have it, and when we don't, we realize how little of it we actually had.
Damn. You ever hear of dual consciousness?
Rings a bell. I can't remember what it speaks to.
It's an interesting one, but it's a long one. We don't have time for that. But
you want to talk about sleep?
It touches on that.
Okay.
Basically. So basically, one of the reasons that this is hard to understand is because we spend more time awake than asleep.
Okay.
So we get used to the fact that this is reality.
Okay, makes sense.
If we spent life the other way around, or even more significant towards sleep, where we were only awake for let's say 5 hours a day,
right,
and we're sleeping for a majority of the day, our reality, whether we want to admit it or not, is within sleep. Right? And a lot of people can decide, hey, oh no, that's not reality because I can't touch in sleep. There's certain significance, right? You can't, you very rarely feel in sleep. Physical touch, orgasm, stuff like this. Like it's rare. Like wet dreams are common among young boys, where they bust a nut while they're sleeping, but it's not frequent enough where it's part of life. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it is rare. However, if those things were not the deciding factor, given the brain, a lot of people would suggest that consciousness is within sleep.
Okay, now here's an interesting part to that. I think a good test for reality is a shared consciousness or a shared reality with others. So when you're asleep, you don't have that, right? You don't have a shared. Like if I have a dream, it's mine. You don't know what it is. You weren't there. You're not going to be there. You don't have it. We don't share that experience. We're here right now. We share this experience. And when you go to work, you share your experience in your life with others. And people can say the same. They're like, oh yeah, it's something that we share. Like I was there with him. I remember. Like you ask them, they'll also give you the same. But in our dream state, that we become disconnected. It's no longer a shared reality. I think that's the biggest issue with dreams as like another state of consciousness or state of being.
I think natural dreaming, this is a phenomenon, but I think once we develop technology in order for us to be in REM and dream as far as a server based, like
that's
talking
different. Now you're talking
Matrix, right?
That would be interesting.
We're talking Matrix.
Now that changes the conversation.
That changes the conversation a lot because
absolutely.
Now
you have a shared state. Yeah.
Not only shared state, but you have shared consciousness. You can't escape the dream, right? The dream is a realm. It's a server that you log into with your brain. So I think it'd just be more fun to have that, but we would definitely lose a lot of people to things like that, because a lot of people inside there are doing things that they're not doing out here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it is kind of like the Matrix.
You are describing the Matrix right now.
Because
like
when your brain dies, you die,
mm-hmm.
right? So
mm-hmm.
if you're logged onto the server and you're living there like a rich guy with a 6-pack, and you're a billionaire, you got 10 wives or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever reality you want to surround yourself with, once you die out here, you die in there. So essentially, it's meaningless. What's new this week, you fuck?
I've been looking into sleep. That's why I asked if you wanted to talk about sleep. It's gonna take me a while to get through because these are like long episodes. I can't listen to like 3 hours at a stretch and pay attention, because that's the thing. Like when I listen to certain podcasts, I actually want to pay attention. It's not
Take
just
notes.
background noise.
Yeah.
Like I actually want to. So I'm kind of doing them in like 20-30 minute chunks.
Yeah.
So I'll make my way through Huberman's sleep series that he's doing with this guy called I think it's Chris Walker or Chris something. Pretty interesting stuff. Apart from the basics of, what is sleep, right? Like you have REM sleep and you have non-REM sleep, and in non-REM sleep there's like 4 different stages. Okay, fair enough. Oh, don't do that because the cameras they're already.
No, but the cameras actually look a lot better.
No, we're gonna look funny. It's really unnatural. The cameras.
This looks super unnatural, super saturated. I'll show you later on a clip. It
Yeah,
actually looks better with.
They're already calibrated, so don't like.
Chill. They auto calibrate.
No, they don't.
They do.
No,
here.
they don't. They're not. They don't.
But
your tone's gonna change.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, that's not what calibration is. When I mean calibrate, I'm like, we set it for a certain look.
But it doesn't change for the better, is what I'm saying.
That's an opinion.
But listen, I get the
You're
fucking bedazzle about the.
Are you trying to look? What are you trying to look? More tanned or more dead?
More dead.
Okay, see that? No, that's okay. That's fucked up. Let's not do that. Anyways,
more dead.
Anyways. Yeah. So apart from the basics of sleep, and you're talking like REM and non-REM,
real quick.
Yeah.
Take a look at that.
No, I don't like looking, dude. I look like fucking Harkonnen from Dune 2.
What about this? This looks natural.
No, dude.
This looks natural.
Dude, you don't know what look natural is, because we're talking about.
Look at this.
Like
this does not look natural. All right, you look like you have hepatitis.
No, you actually look. Now go to you. You look like you have fucking blood in your fucking face instead of the blue. You look blue. You look dead.
No, dude, I look
dude,
fine.
You look like you're about to fucking pass out. Are you kidding me?
I'm good.
No, you're not.
I got cancer. 4th stage.
Jesus. All right, please stop fucking with the color. I don't know why you got a fascination with the fucking temperature today of all days. Okay, so yeah, sleep. The interesting stuff that I'm hitting right now is the effects of sleep deprivation on certain functions of the body, like base functions. So, like insulin response, your hormonal response, immune response has pretty drastic effects. I think the craziest one that I saw was testosterone effects on sleep deprivation over like a week. Go 5 days on 5 hours of sleep, and your testosterone levels will look like you in 10 years. So a significant drop. So you've essentially aged yourself in a week just off of that. Stuff like that's pretty interesting.
One thing I gotta say is, have you ever read anybody on that was exposed to radiation?
Radiation?
Yeah.
Not in specifics, no.
So I was doing when I was trying to be a nurse, I did a few practicums for a few months at a time at VGH. And the interesting part was we had to do an IV drip on this patient that he exposed radiation to an extent. Now, I didn't know the history of how much, but we had to wear like he was like in a chamber basically, and we had to wear, because he was still radiating. There was radiation coming out of him too, because he was exposed to some type of radiation water, which was the extent of what I knew, like radiation in the water somehow he absorbed. Now, over the next few months, I saw this guy slowly die in front of my eyes, and how I saw it was he was dying, rotting from the inside out. And what was happening was every cell that he had was slowly dying from his exterior epidermis, which is your outside of your skin, into your skin. So in the last few weeks, his bones were collapsing, shattering, and he was like just gushing blood out of this fucking thing. And he was like fully, when he came in, he was conscious, but
Yeah.
when he, like last few weeks, he was completely unconscious, like a coma, straight
Jesus.
coma. And the interesting thing is like this guy's color was very green, and almost, it's gonna sound hilarious, his fingertips were glow in the dark.
Jesus.
Believe it or not. And it was a really cool kind of way of seeing how many fucked up ways can you die. I would say radiation is probably number one, right? Because that's such a slow process and it's so painful. Can you, like, that'd be the last way I want to go. Like the only other way I would not want to die is like if I saw my family and friends get fucking killed in front of my eyes right before I died.
Yeah.
That'd be the only worst way. Otherwise, radiation. Or you know what? Even worse, rape. If you're getting fucking raped and then you die, dude, like that. Tell me another way. You're fucking from the cartel. What do you know?
How did we get here?
No, because I was
talking about fucking sleep deprivation.
I've been watching a lot of docu-series with my girl, like non-stop.
True crime shit?
True crime.
Yeah,
and there was
girls
this
love
one
that.
from
Girls love that.
There was this one from not even true crime, just like weird shit. There was one from where's that place? Constantinople or some shit in Russia.
Oh, Constantinople's in Turkey. That's Istanbul.
No.
But I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Chernobyl. Yeah.
Chernobyl, and there was a guy who he's videotaping, and his face over 5 years of videotaping Chernobyl has completely shifted.
Jesus.
And that's why I was talking about this.
I've seen clips of survivors talk about, the effects of radiation attacks, and look at like Hiroshima survivors and Chernobyl survivors. It gets pretty gnarly.
Do you think we'll kind of end on these last two notes, but if we want to cut this for like a good 3-minute, have you seen consciousness help you throughout your life, and can you see how in some people consciousness wouldn't help them? Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
Like everybody's conscious, right? But it's how much of that consciousness do you live in, and how much in the exterior world do you live in? You know what I'm saying? So like when you look at like overthinkers,
you're talking about subconscious then? What do you mean
conscious? No. Your consciousness. So you're like, you're conscious. You're conscious that things are happening around you. But how much people, this actually varies among a lot of people, and it's very hard for people to understand because I am not in your brain. You are not in my brain. So you don't know how much I'm overthinking or preparing for something, and how much you're overthinking and how much you're preparing for something. So if you don't speak of it, then it's unknown to your exterior of what you're doing.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Where somebody could, for example, SAT, you could be studying for SAT 20 hours a day for 6 months and not say a word. And then I could be studying for SAT for an hour a day, and every day I'm telling everybody that I'm studying for SAT. Does that help me or you? Like that in itself, I don't know. It seems to me that most people are overthinking the actual process of things, myself included.
Okay.
Who the fuck knew? And fucking by the time I'm 30, I'm going to be doing what I'm doing, right? But it's just the process of what you do accumulated over time. And then these actions that you take, you don't actually know the future consequences of them.
So you're talking about like analysis paralysis here?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
it's definitely a thing.
Yeah, you're kind of going on based on a storyline that you're making up for yourself as you go. So you try to explain your past actions, and you're kind of like looping things together. Oh, this happened because my mom did this, and then I did this, and then she did that, and then you're like, is that really what it is, or is it more succinct? Only you would know, right? And then where is the quality assurance in all this? Like, where's the how do you know you're right? You might be simulating this whole thing in your head while it's so much more streamlined than it is, right? And that's what procrastination is, right? The idea that this thing is not streamlined. This process of growth is not streamlined. And I just want to touch on it. Like, how much does this affect the first world countries? How much does that affect the public, right? Because we could do so much more than what we're doing if we thought that life is just more streamlined than it is. And that goes hand in hand, is like, how much do you want to be in your head, right? And does that help you?
I think that a lot of people, I've gone through this, like myself, I'll count myself in this one. I think whenever these sort of situations happen where you feel yourself locked up within your own brain, like you just said, analyzing everything or living in there or spending way too much time in there, what I found helps a lot is telling someone else, not usually for the sake of getting their advice or hearing what they think, but just the simple fact of having to verbalize your thoughts to someone else forces you to streamline your thoughts in a way that makes sense, and you sometimes will catch yourself in some bullshit where you were thinking in your head, you thought it made sense and all this and that, like you spent like hours analyzing or thinking about something, but the moment you actually have to say it to somebody, it changes it entirely. All of a sudden you're like, wait a second, does that actually make sense what I was thinking? Like, wow, it didn't. So just the fact of telling someone, even if you don't need their response, is enough to like help that, I've noticed.
The last thing I wanted to touch on was I was looking at this show, and it was basically telling me that dimethyltryptamine can, because it's within us, it's multidimensional. It could be in this dimension, it could be in the next dimension, if there is another dimension, that's to say. Because it's not a product, it's a set of particles. It could be within everything. And they brought up this big compound of a word. And the interesting part is like, you never really die in the sense of your soul, because if we're going to link, they were trying to link your soul to this DMT release. Right? And essentially, you know, religious people, they believe you go to a better place, right? This DMT leaves out of you to a better place. And these I guess these theorists, we're talking about quantum immortality.
Interesting.
Right? Where you're escaping yourself, but you grow as something else. So like
Or like reincarnation?
Reincarnation in a sense of science, though. Very, very, very just theoretical
yeah,
talk.
yeah.
You know, nothing in writing, but it was just super interesting, like 12-minute video of this guy talking about of how that, you know, the closer we get to being a baseline of science, the more we realize that things might have been in ways where we don't understand. For example, they're saying that the Big Bang could have been a black hole portal. Because people did not exist, there was no sense of traveling through, because we don't actually know what black holes travel in speed-wise. We don't know if it's the speed of light or what. Is it gray matter? Like, what is the speed range? So because we're solid particles, if we go through light, you know, all living things will die, because your essentially your particles will perish, because as you travel, you expand, right? Because, you know, because we don't travel, we're so tight. But the more we travel, you know this, right? This is just basic physics.
Sort of. Yeah, you're on kind of the right track.
Long story short, they were saying that the black hole could have been the Big Bang Theory.
Who's they? There's just like some theory
Again,
out there? Yeah.
Same theorists. And the narrative is what caught my attention.
Interesting.
Because if DMT is our soul, and we can travel through dimensions with this DMT, and even travel to other life forms. For example, this DMT gets absorbed through the ground, and, you know, some fucking tree is born, right? Then you're within that tree. But the other interesting thing is like, we've based this whole aspect of religion and science based on this one black hole. And it could have just been something as basic as we went through a black hole from another dimension. What are your thoughts on this?
It's definitely an out there theory.
What's up, you fucking faggot? What are you doing?
Guess what? I'm available. I thought I had so much work to do and I managed to just finish it all.
Hey, whose cock did you suck to finish all this work?
My own.
Dude, listen, Hector just shook his head because we're doing a podcast and you're on the pod. But, like, did you take a rib out with a wrench and a fucking air drill, or what'd you do?
No, bro. I just fucking crawled under a car and did it. I went under the hoist and I lowered the hoist on top of me and it just squished me down and down.
I mean, did it help that you're bald and have no hair, or what?
What's that?
Did it help that you're bald and don't have any hair? Did you fit in better?
Yeah, bro. Aerodynamics.
Yeah, dude. Listen,
Aerodynamics.
Roshan, you got any last words for the podcast?
Fuck. I have so many words that I forgot.
Hmm.
Did you know pigeons die after they have sex?
No? Oh, you already said this, you fuck. You broke bitch. That's all you have. All right. Let me call you back in a bit.
Okay,
All right, okay, bye. I got one saying that I wanted to say.
What do you got?
Your brain works in a set of programs. And the minute that you think that you can't change these set of programs is the minute you stop learning in life.
I like that. Good way to end it.
All right. Peace. We're out.
Peace.